Millions in Syria and Iraq are facing water shortages as the region's longest river, the Euphrates, dries up. The Euphrates River has been a symbol of life and growth for thousands of years. Stretching across the Middle East, this river has supported civilizations, including ancient Mesopotamia, which is often called the cradle of civilization. But today the Euphrates is facing a grim future. The once mighty river is drying up, and for many, this signals more than just an environmental crisis. Some believe it could be the fulfillment of an ancient biblical prophecy. So what's really going on? Could this be a sign from above, or is it simply a result of climate change and poor water management? Let's find out. The Euphrates River isn't just any body of water. It's one of the most important rivers in human history. Along with the Tigris River, it flows through what we call Mesopotamia, which is often referred to as the cradle of civilization. Why? Because thousands of years ago, this area, modern-day Iraq and parts of Syria and Turkey, was home to some of the world's earliest civilizations like the Sumerians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. These were the first people to develop writing, large cities, and complex societies. All of this was possible because of the Euphrates and Tigris rivers. The rivers provided water for agriculture, which allowed societies to grow food and develop complex economies. The Euphrates also served as a transportation route, connecting different regions and allowing trade to flourish. Cities like Babylon and Uruk, names you might have heard in history books or even the Bible, were built along the Euphrates because it was such an essential resource. But now the Euphrates is drying up. For thousands of years, it has supported life, but modern challenges are taking their toll. Whether it's climate change, dams being built upstream, or mismanagement of water resources, the river is shrinking. This isn't just a problem for historians and archaeologists. Millions of people still rely on this river for water, farming, and their livelihoods. If the Euphrates runs dry completely, it would spell disaster for the region. Fast forward to today and the situation is looking grim. The Euphrates River is drying up at an alarming rate. Since 2003, the region has lost over 144 cubic kilometers of fresh water, according to data from NASA's GRACE satellites. That's enough water to fill tens of millions of Olympic-sized swimming pools. What's causing this massive loss of water? There are a few big reasons. First, there's climate change. The Middle East is one of the hardest-hit regions when it comes to global warming. Temperatures are rising, rainfall is decreasing, and droughts are becoming more frequent and severe. This means less water is flowing into the Euphrates from its sources in Turkey and Syria. Then there's human activity. Dams are being built upstream, particularly in Turkey, which reduces the flow of water downstream to Syria and Iraq. On top of that, poor water management and overuse of the river for farming have left the Euphrates struggling to meet the needs of the millions who rely on it. If things continue like this, experts warn that the river could run dry by 2040. This would be a catastrophe for the region, which depends on the Euphrates for drinking water, agriculture, and industry. But it's not just about water. People's lives and livelihoods are at stake, and the lack of a coordinated solution between countries is only making things worse. One of the reasons people are so interested in the Euphrates drying up is because of its connection to biblical prophecy. In the book of Revelation 16 verse 12, it says that when the Euphrates dries up, it will prepare the way for the kings from the east. Some interpret this as a sign of the end times, possibly leading to the second coming of Jesus Christ and the rapture. For centuries, people have speculated about what this prophecy means. Is it literal, symbolic, or is it just a coincidence that the Euphrates is drying up now? Some people take this as a clear sign that we are living in the end times, while others say it's simply a case of climate change and mismanagement. Regardless of what you believe, it's fascinating to see how ancient texts and modern science can intersect. The Bible isn't the only place that mentions the Euphrates either. In fact, the river is referred to many times throughout the Bible, often as a boundary or a symbol of God's judgment. Whether or not you believe in the biblical prophecy, one thing is clear: the Euphrates is in trouble. Whether it's due to divine intervention or human action, the drying up of this ancient river is causing real-world problems, and it could have a huge impact on the future of the region. Beyond the prophecies and religious interpretations, the drying of the Euphrates River is causing a very real modern-day crisis. Millions of people across Turkey, Syria, and Iraq depend on this river for water. As it continues to dry up, people are facing severe water shortages. Farmers can't grow their crops, cities are running out of drinking water, and the overall situation is becoming desperate. This isn't just about water, it's about health too. According to a report in the British medical journal, BMJ, Diseases like cholera, typhoid fever, and diarrhea are on the rise in Iraq because people don't have access to clean water. Vaccinations are becoming less available, and the health system is struggling to keep up with the growing crisis. What's worse, this water crisis is also fueling political tensions. Countries like Turkey, Syria, and Iraq are already arguing over how to share the water from the Euphrates. With water becoming scarcer, these disputes could lead to even more significant conflicts. In some cases, water has even been used as a weapon of war, with one country cutting off the flow of water to another. If a solution isn't found soon, the Euphrates could become a symbol of not just environmental collapse but also social and political instability. The longer this crisis drags on, the harder it will be to fix and the more people will suffer. The drying up of the Euphrates is more than just a local issue, it's part of a larger global problem. Water scarcity is becoming a major concern in many parts of the world, from the Middle East to the American Southwest. As climate change continues to wreak havoc on the environment, rivers like the Euphrates are drying up, leaving millions of people without the water they need to survive. If the Euphrates dries up completely, the consequences for the region will be devastating. Millions of people will lose access to water, farms will fail, and cities will struggle to survive. The political tensions over water could escalate into full-blown conflicts, and the health crisis could spiral out of control. But this isn't just a Middle Eastern problem. Around the world, other regions are facing similar crises. In the United States, the Colorado River is also drying up, causing water shortages in states like California and Arizona. In Africa, rivers and lakes are shrinking, leading to droughts and famine. The issue of water scarcity is one that affects us all, and the drying up of the Euphrates is just one part of a much bigger global story. While the situation with the Euphrates is dire, there's still hope. Governments, organizations, and individuals are starting to recognize the urgent need for action, and there are steps that can be taken to slow down or even reverse the drying of the river. However, this will require global cooperation and a coordinated effort to address the root causes of the crisis. One of the first steps is improving water management in the region. Countries like Turkey, Syria, and Iraq need to come together and create a comprehensive plan to share the water resources of the Euphrates fairly. Right now, these nations have different policies and don't always agree on how the river should be managed, which only makes the situation worse. A joint water management system could ensure that each country gets its fair share while also protecting the river from further decline. Another critical factor is addressing climate change. Rising temperatures and prolonged droughts are a major reason why the Euphrates is drying up. Global efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and transition to renewable energy sources can help slow the effects of climate change and reduce the likelihood of future droughts. So what do you think? Is the drying of the Euphrates River just an environmental issue, or could it really be tied to ancient prophecies? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video interesting, and make sure to subscribe for more videos on important global issues like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.